For today's video, it's match preview Wolves versus Manchester United. I was going to say Wolves, but get involved in today's chat with your own opinions. We'll discuss some of them throughout today's video. But I think after yesterday's video, the news that's been going on ever since the weekend really surrounding Marcus Rashford, I think it's the elephant in the room, so we'll touch on the statement that was released from Manchester United last night, and it stated, Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. This has been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. Rashford is back in training and will be available for selection versus Wolves on Thursday. Your first thoughts on that?
Marcus has took responsibility. Well, yeah, of course he's took responsibility. He's been caught out lying. Simple as that. Back in training. United short statement, dealt with it in the right way, put him back in the group, and then just try and get him playing football at some point further down the line. Right way to deal with it.
Yeah, we've had our views on it, especially in yesterday's video. If you've not watched it, please check it out on our playlist. But do you think the way Manchester United worded that, it was the correct way in doing so? Because I just get the feeling some people might want like a public flogging here of Marcus Rashford and more details on what the disciplinary actions were.
Well, if you go back and look at Woodward, look at Richard Arnold, the way they've dealt with it, completely wrong. This is the way to deal with it. Deal with it in-house. I expect things to change for Marcus Rashford drastically going forward. It doesn't need to be aired in public. You've had Richard Arnold being caught meeting fans and being taped and all that. Them days are over. It was just run like a madhouse. Ineos here will not succeed if they don't make real changes, and this is one of the changes, and there's plenty more to come. The way they deal with the players, the way they deal with the media, they will set the agenda. The media aren't the ones going to set the agenda for Ineos.
What do you expect here now from Marcus Rashford? Do you expect him to knuckle down, not to be seen out in nightclubs, bars till the rest of the season? What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, you'll see that. You'll see he won't be anywhere. They might come out with one or two club statements, you know, jollying around while he's training and all that. But the reality here is when Erik ten Hag come in this club, he was told to change this toxic culture. But the difference here is Erik ten Hag was let down, and it was an admission of failure by the management in charge of the club, who couldn't help Erik ten Hag. And the change is here now, and Ineos will help Erik ten Hag. But Marcus Rashford, spoke a lot about him yesterday, thought about it, listened to what's being said, the reports out there, more details, you know, you expect that. So my thoughts on it now are simple. Marcus Rashford, I did say yesterday, leopards don't change the spots. And the thing is with Marcus Rashford, he has got a small unit of people around him and have been there for a long, long time. And if you are misbehaving, you're doing things what isn't right, and for a player who really should understand the DNA of what it is to be a Manchester United player, this player is out of control. This player, as far as I'm concerned, is out of control. The people around him, two brothers, what lead his contract talks and things like that. He's got a mother there, what deals with his off-field businesses, like building up a portfolio of houses and everything like that. And then obviously you've got the people what went with him over to Belfast. These people are not going to change around Marcus Rashford. And if you want to change your behaviour and the way you are, you have to clear everything out. And Marcus Rashford relies on these people, and they're so close to him, they are not going to change. Them people have not been able to influence Marcus Rashford's behaviour. They have been part of his behaviour. You know, you've seen him go to New York and things like that, his brother, all that, getting involved with rap stars and everything else like that. Yes, we know what he did in lockdown. With the school meals and all that, that's fine. I don't think he thought, from the interview I seen him give, he expected that to go where it did. Yeah. And he had to deal with something he wasn't expecting. Now, he's here. The people around him are not going to change. And I'll say it again. Leopards don't change the spots. And he is not going to change the people around him. And that's what is needed for this player, right, to change and to succeed and get on the field and play football. And his off-field antics, what he does, are designed by the people around him. And that's not going to change. And I do believe Manchester United do know that. And I think my personal opinion, the way I see it now, is Ineos are in here and big changes are needed, and they're going to make them. And Marcus Rashford, someone who should know the DNA of Man United, who knows what it means to us fans, the club and everything else like that, I think he's on his way in the summer, and I think Ineos will make the changes. He's been here since a young lad, okay? He's not a young lad anymore, he's a man. So at the end of the day, no one else to blame here.
Yeah, you were just talking about a lot of things actually that are going on in his life off the pitch as well, and what he's done, and all of us, well, the majority of us know what he's done, kids' school meals, etc. Do you think the pressure's actually got to him then? You know, being under the spotlight so much, probably wasn't expecting the amount of tension he's been coming under over the last 18 months, 2 years. And it's just got to him, and he's just gone one way instead of going the other way, which is the correct way in keeping standards there at Manchester United.
No, that's the.
He's kind of buckled under the pressure.
No, that's what people will come out with, and I think you'll see lots of that trying to back Marcus, sort of saying, "Oh, he's under pressure, mental pressure, this, that, and the other." That is absolutely ridiculous. If you see Marcus Rashford in the summer before pre-season training, he had his head on, spoke eloquently. Okay, about what he was doing with his training before pre-season training. This is his routine. He knows what to do. He spoke candidly about what was going on in his life and all that, how he's got the people around him. He's even got, and he's got someone there, like, I wouldn't call it a psychiatrist, but someone who is a mentor who has been around him from a very young age. He's got everything there. His head is screwed on. It is just what goes on with some people, the culture, what he's had for the last few years under different managers at Manchester United, and the people around him, the people who he's looked up to, like the likes of Pogba and things like that, and other players there. He has got the people now around him, right, what have got their eyes set on other things, and that's where he's gone. And young men do that, and there's no coming back from it.
Yeah, obviously there's more details that come out today in the newspapers, etc., especially from a waitress over in Belfast coming out in more details about tequilas, etc. But at the end of the day, he's been on a bender. That's the nail of the story. And let's kind of move on from there, do you think?
I'll move on, but I've just got to say that from the bits what have come out, he got absolutely smashed out of his head. And the thing is, where he just fell asleep. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But to be in that state, he went over there in a private plane with the people around him, in my opinion, deliberately went for it, right, and couldn't care less. That is a problem. That is a big problem. Yeah. But then he thinks, or does he think, but the way it looks to me is he's bigger than the club. And he has now just had a smackdown from United. He's not bigger than the club, right? And it's time to move on. You've had your time here, Marcus. Get on the pitch till the end of the season, and I think what the club will do, will move him on, because he's not the future of Manchester United. Marcus Rashford, right, as we've all seen, and it's a fact, has a good period, has a bad period, has a good period, has a bad period. Well, at the end of the day, everything was looking rosy for Marcus Rashford. I've seen his interviews before pre-season, right? He was right on it, and he's gone, okay? So at the end of the day, getting smashed out of his head, it's okay him coming out saying, I'm not drinking anymore. It's not about the drinking. It's about the people around you. And the people around him are not going to change. He is not going to change them people. So the influence in his life are the people around him. And that's sometimes with everybody. If you've got people around you, they can influence in what you say, how your behaviour is, and everything else like that. That is not going to change that influence. And Manchester United know that.
Yeah, Let us know your thoughts and opinions about Marcus Rashford and all this, the story that goes with it. Moving on from there as well, it must have been awkward for Rashford yesterday because Sir David Brailsford was at Carrington.
Yeah.
And his report there from The Athletic, that he was there to address the Manchester United squad with a particular mission statement. And The Athletic said he was there to explain the Ineos philosophy with a focus on standards. The report states that Brailsford was explaining the Ineos' approach to sporting excellence and the importance of standards. Now, yeah, a bit awkward for Marcus Rashford then at training yesterday.
Yeah, I think he'd have swerved that, Marcus Rashford. Yeah. I think what you've heard from there, them words, I think there's more to it. I think what Ineos have done have just laid the law down to this squad and said, this is what we expect of you. The culture, what has gone on, the toxicity, what's been in this club, we know all about it, and it's now going to change. We do not accept any of that. You have to change. You put it out on the pitch. You're highly paid players, right? You're privileged, right? And it's a privilege to play for Manchester United. So you need to perform. And if you don't perform, you're out. If you don't perform on the pitch, and if you don't perform off the pitch, anything, you concentrate on Manchester United. We're paying your wages, and you better deliver for these fans and this club. We do not accept second-rate and second-rate behaviour. That's how I think the law was laid down. And quite right. Like I said to you, Erik ten Hag come in to toxicity in this club. He was told to clean it up. Yeah. The good thing is he's now Brailsford laying the law down, letting the players know Erik ten Hag's got somebody behind him to back him and now help him. And I think this Marcus Rashford situation has actually come up at a timely manner. For Ineos, for Erik ten Hag and for Man United and for us fans, to be honest with you, because Ineos have to deal with it and deal with it quickly, and Erik ten Hag has now got the backing at least till the end of the season. Yeah,
we don't know if that meeting with Brailsford yesterday was already penciled in for the date or whether it was them sort of stepping up their efforts after what happened with Rashford in Belfast to reiterate it to the squad about the standards and that. But ever since it was announced on Christmas Eve, the deal with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, etc., you know, they have been visible in and around Carrington on most days, you know, with the reports that you do see. You know, is that more worrying as well with you that, you know, some players, or in particular Rashford, haven't really took it on board?
Well, clearly Rashford's not took it on board. Yeah. Rashford.
Is that what a big worry is, though, as well, then going forward?
Well, maybe this is virtually, if you look at the toxicity and players' attitudes and all that, this could be the last in line. Could be of the toxic culture. What's gone on in United? Look at, there's a starting three there, a forward line in Sancho, in Rashford, in Anthony Martial. 3 years ago, if you'd have put that lineup together, that'd have been a fantastic lineup in any team in the Premier League. Toxicity. Is Marcus Rashford the last in line to go? As I've said to you, is it the last in line? The people around him, they're toxic as well because they've not done the right thing by Marcus Rashford. And Marcus Rashford should know the DNA of Manchester United, as I've said. Okay, so this could be the last in line, but it's also a warning to everyone else. Players like to push to the edge the rules, okay? And I did say yesterday that Marcus Rashford, regardless of what's happened, he will come back in and be the professional in training and everything. And that's what players do. They push that little edge and say, no, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Right? That's what they do. But Marcus Rashford has just failed. And he thought he was bigger than the club and couldn't care less about what his actions were and what it was to Manchester United, the detriment to it.
Yeah, timing of it is just all wrong, to be fair. But going to move on now to the game, the Wolves versus Manchester United. Before we go into any details, is there anything from that game against Newport that gives you a little bit of a worry going into this game, especially with us having a strong lineup against Newport, you know, and they clawed it back to 2-2. Yeah, we did win the game, but, you know, the whole team performance at points.
I think fans have got to understand this. It was an FA Cup game, okay? And I've watched many FA Cup games. And when big teams go down to lower teams, what tends to happen is you go down to their level or thereabouts because of the ground, they're on you, everything else. the infrastructure, your changing rooms, it's all completely different. And you go down to their level. So to expect Manchester United or any top club to go to a small club, okay, right, which is like their biggest game ever, right, and to perform at the standards high of the Premier League, you're not watching football. You've not been watching football. United would definitely go into play down to their level. And for 30 minutes, United just dominated them. And then they got back in it. And that's what happens. So I have no worries about that performance. It was a typical dodgy FA Cup tie and has no bearing whatsoever of going into this game against Wolves. No bearing whatsoever.
Okay, let us know what your thoughts and opinions are going into this Wolves game as well in the chat, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. So, look, going to expect a strong lineup here. As we've mentioned in previous videos, he's emphasised it a lot, Erik ten Hag. Once he gets his fully fit players back, well, main players back in Casemiro, Martinez, Luke Shaw, etc., we will see an upturn in performances and results. So, what are you expecting with this game score-wise?
Score-wise, game-wise, performance-wise.
Yeah.
Well, it's Wolves, and he can have his best side out there. But all I see Wolves is, and, you know, if anyone watching the last few games at Wolves, what we've had over the last 2 or 3 years, they've been dour. They've not been exciting games. It's the way Wolves are. They will have a back five. They will not go out on full attack. I do expect Manchester United.
You don't think in this game they will? I think Wolves have changed it around this season under Gary O'Neill, you know. I couldn't watch Wolves at all on TV if I seen them advertised, but this year, I don't think they've been too bad to watch. Especially that first game of the season.
I'm not saying they've been bad to watch, right? This is Manchester United going to Wolves, right? And I think what they'll do, they'll try and break on United. But a lot of the games I've seen there at Wolves with Man United, and I've been there personally, right? And they've been terrible watches. But I expect United to sort of change. Ten Hag has to change it. There's a couple of games now. The Wolves game, we've got the West Ham game and the Aston Villa game. And we have to win every game. So I expect Ten Hag, full of confidence, having players back, to go on the attack. But my fear for this game is that they will hold back Wolves a lot of the time. And it will be hard for the wingers to get behind. I fear for Højlund here. He's getting frustrated. We've seen it the other day at Newport, and I think you'll see frustration from Højlund here. So it is the game hinges on the wingers getting behind him and getting the ball to Højlund. And if that doesn't work, then we might be in trouble.
Yeah, I totally agree. You can see frustration in him. Højlund, you know, the wingers need to do better in getting the head up and actually picking him out with the crosses from the flanks. Yeah,
well, the thing is, I look at it also, I've been complaining for a long time now about free kicks and the chances we get from corners and free kicks and all, and it doesn't work. And I saw the other day a free kick, and it's from Luke Shaw, and it was Casemiro, and that was from the other last year. It's been ages since there. These are the things what a centre forward should have. Pure class balls going in, and he's not getting him. He's not being given the opportunity to show what a centre forward does. He's picking up the scraps, and players have to put in proper corners, proper free kicks to give this kid a chance. I just fear for his frustration that it might overtake and he'll lose concentration. And at Wolves, it will be tough for him.
Yeah, Wolves are I think they're in 11th place, United in 8th. But I think if Wolves do beat us, they overtake us, level on points, but overtake us on goal difference.
Well, we have said, haven't we, we're a mid-table side, and it's now down to Erik ten Hag to get us out of that mid-table position. We can't fall down to 11th. It's just not acceptable for Manchester United, and it's a tough game, this. So 11th is just not acceptable. We have to win, and I do feel as though we will get a win here, because I don't think they'll be able to break down our defence. I think the defence will be rock solid, and I think a 2-0 win here is acceptable. Not acceptable, is doable. And I'm full of confidence. And like I say, I don't take in that performance, what people have said. They didn't enjoy it. They were rubbish United. I don't accept that. I looked at that game as like an FA Cup game playing a lower league side, and I thought we did well. in large parts of the game, and we got out of there without any injuries and go in here against Wolves, I think we'll just go full at it, and I think we'll take them in the end.
I think we're 11 points behind fourth, which is Aston Villa. Now, if we don't get the 3 points here, is that then any hope of actually securing Champions League football next year? Is that completely gone then?
No, it's not completely gone, but I do think that the sides in 4th, 5th, 6th place, I don't think they'll lose them positions. I think they'll be too good to lose a lead like that. There's too many of them, and I don't see United getting top 4, top 5. I just think it's too big a task. I think they'll win quite a few games till the end of the season, but what it is, I haven't seen, and I've said it before, I can't see United putting a run of games together. This is Manchester United. There is always something going on, and within Ineos here, there's changes what are happening. There's other things to come. There's other carnage and chaos to happen here at Manchester United. So I don't see a smooth road till the end of the season. Players are expected to go in the summer. Players aren't going to put it in, and one of them players expected to go is Varane. And I'm not too sure that Varane, is he going to play 3 games this week? Is he capable? I don't know. Is he going to put in the effort? Has he been putting the effort in as much as what we've seen last year? I don't think so. So I think there's going to be a drop-off with some of these players towards the end of the season, and maybe now, because they've just got their eyes on the summer. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I do agree with you with Varane anyway. He's been hit and miss this season, nowhere near the levels he was last season. But he's not had Martinez next to him.
No, he's not.
Hopefully, with Martinez returning back to the team, get another 2 or 3 games together as a partnership. Maybe we might see something like we did last season. You
might do, but I don't think you'll see it on a regular basis. I just don't see it. I've seen footballers, I've seen Manchester United players for years and years and years, and when it comes towards the end of the season, and that's what we're going for, because all we've got is the Premier League and hopefully a go at the FA Cup, these players will just fall off. We've seen it last year because players look towards the summer. They've got their eyes on somewhere else. They know some of them players that they won't be here. So what are they going to do? Are they going to commit to the tackles? Are they going to get injured and then ruin the idea of where they're going to go in the summer? No, I don't think so. Players naturally fall off if they've got their eyes on the prize in the summer going there. And some of these players are fearful of getting booted out of the club as well. So the level of performance, you'll see it, but you won't see it consistently. And that is the reason why I feel you won't see Champions League football, and you might not even see any type of European football.
Cheers for that.
I'm sorry about that, but that's me. Listen, I'm always positive. People out there know that, right? I do believe we're going to beat Wolves 2-0, right? But I just don't see that the rest of the season is going to be smooth sailing. The club is in chaos.
Yeah.
It's chaos. There's a virus in the club, right? And there's people who are here going to try and change it. But that change will take time. And like I said, Erik ten Hag come here. Fans can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You want the toxicity out of this club. You want players out of this club. You want it to change. Well, for that to change, people have to be moved on. Yeah, and Erik ten Hag can't do it on his own. And he's not been able to do it on his own because he's not been backed. Ineos are here now, and it looks as though for the time being, they are there going to back him to sort out the culture of the club. You can't sort the culture of the club out and expect a win inside. You can't have it both ways. It's as simple as that.
Well, a positive anyway is Kobbie Mainoo this season. And a lot of people who we speak to on the channel, the comments left on there, and people who speak to around the ground, all seem to think it should be Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro as the first choice midfield partner. Yeah,
that's how it should be. That's how it should be, because you can't expect putting on Scott McTominay in that position. Because at the end of the day, Scott McTominay was one of those players who was earmarked for sale in the summer, and he should still be earmarked for the sale in the summer, because he is not the future of Manchester United. He's been here long enough, okay, and he's not going to get any better. So at the end of the day, fringe player, squad player, which I think is good enough for, but at the end of the day, He shouldn't be taking anyone's place. And with someone like Kobbie Mainoo, right, who is a young player, knows what it is, calm, knows how to do a pass, knows how to go forward, under the guidance of Casemiro, who hopefully, right, improves with his fitness over the next few weeks. I think Mainoo will be someone there for the long term.
Just thinking, I did see a report before, I don't know how genuine it was though, to be fair, but they said Mason Mount might actually make the squad against Wolves, you know, and be on the bench. Where do you see him actually playing in this team, Mason Mount? Because a lot of people out there want to see more of Mason Mount. Obviously, he's been injured, but when he is fully fit, more game time. But where does he actually fit into this team?
I don't know where he fits into this team.
Let us know what you think out there, where Mason Mount's best position is, because for me, I'm still not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
In this United team, anyway.
I don't know his best position. I don't even know his position. I just don't know. Yeah. And Erik ten Hag's got to deal with that. And it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in the team. A lot of money he cost. And at the end of the day, this is down to Erik ten Hag to get him in the team.
It's an Erik ten Hag signing as well. He wanted him. Yeah,
he wanted him. He got him. And at the end of the day, the second half of the season now, he's got to put him in. But the thing is, he's got to keep him in. Someone's going to get dropped.
Yeah, I think Højlund's got 3 goals in his last 4 starts for Man United. So hopefully second half of the season, we might actually start seeing this kid now getting some momentum. As long as he starts getting the service, don't get me wrong, and start scoring some goals.
It can go 2 ways for Højlund. Go 2 ways here. He can get more frustrated because the ball's not coming. I mean, you talk about half a season, and we've all been critical. Not every game, but a lot of the time, right? That he's not being. The ball's not being crossed right. You've had Rashford, you've had Garnacho, you've had Palestra, you've had Anthony. And what they do, get their head down and they don't give the right ball. They don't give the ball at the right time. They give the wrong ball. For Højlund, who's a big, strapping, strong lad, will it change? It has to change for Højlund's sake, or he will just get more frustrated and there will be a concern with the lack of goals coming.
What do you think of Bruno recently? Going forward, seen a lot of criticism though with Bruno, to be fair, on social media, linking him to like Marcus Rashford, too selfish, not getting his head up enough, not feeding Højlund. But I'm not swimming in that.
I look at Bruno, right, and what it is with Bruno, he can annoy you, and then you just stand up and you start clapping because what a great pass, what a great move, the way he gets out on the pitch, right? It's very frustrating for fans, and understandably. You're not going to get every game from Bruno a great game or a good game. You will get in and out, and unfortunately, he's got to shape up. He's got to get that form back in the next few months, what he had when he first came here, because he might go. He might go if he doesn't succeed. And I don't mean go this summer. Yeah. I mean next year. Yeah. If he has to show it next year, when this team and this club gets back to what it should be. And that's concentrating on football and players wanting to play for United. And I think once he gets in with players and a team, right, what are all working as one, right, that'll suit Bruno. He's had to deal with a lot, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of people inside the club have ignored him, have ignored his leadership because of the toxicity. And I think Rashford is one of them. Sancho, Martial, and his others. Yeah.
Brave on the ball though, Bruno. We always want someone in that team who can create, and when you think of the strongest possible starting 11 we can put out, you always think of Bruno Fernandes. One of the reasons we all love Kobbie Mainoo is because he's brave on the ball, you know, nice and easy on the half turns when he's receiving it from the defenders, etc. Always trying to look up to, you know, to produce something in attack. And
I can accept Kobbie Mainoo and any young player being brave on the ball, because that's the time to be brave. I don't accept an elder statesman, a player who's a captain, being brave on the ball.
In terms of like doing the Hollywood ball sort of thing,
trying to do something. Do what you're good at.
We mean sometimes keep it simple on the pitch.
Keep it simple. A young player, I remember Ryan Giggs as a young player, right? He was told, don't worry about your mistakes. You'll learn from it. You'll learn from it. Well, Bruno's learned from it, okay? And he should be doing the right ball. He should be doing the educated football. Let the others try little tricks and whatever. But Bruno, for me, can be frustrating because he tries too much unnecessarily.
Bexy's just reminded me as well in the chat, but does actually say Onana needs to go at the end of the season, which is a whole different debate. But he is back for the Wolves game. So he goes straight back in over Bayende.
No. I think Bayende will go in. I think all the travelling, all the chaos.
Sorry to stop you. You want Bayende to stay in, or you think Erik ten Hag will keep him in?
I think Erik ten Hag will keep him in. Yeah. Okay.
Big statement, that.
Well, not really, no. If you look at Onana, what's gone on? I mean, it was carnage going over there. And then it was just ended up in a total farce. So he's coming back with his head absolutely battered. If it weren't battered going there, it's battered coming back. Yeah. Especially with the disappointment of his country not going forward. So at the end of the day, all the travelling and all that coming back. No, I think he'll just sit on the sideline, me. Bayende will go in goal. And why not? Why not? Yeah. It's Wolves away, and give him an opportunity and let Onana settle back at home. Don't rush him in. That'll be the worst thing to do for this goalkeeper. He's fragile as it is, Onana, right? Rushing back and wanting to try to improve and impress everyone, I think is the last thing should be happening. Yeah,
fair point there. So your score prediction, 2-0 Wolves? 2-0 to Manchester United. Sorry.
No, 2-0, I do. Yeah. I think it'll take time for United to break them down, but they'll get there. I think it'll be a proper effort. Just the one worry, getting behind them when they sit back. I think our defence, midfield, will be too strong for them.
Yeah, I think a lot of pressure on this game. A lot of the games when you look at the fixture list in February as well, we need to start getting some momentum back. Ten Hag, like we've said in the earlier video, once he gets his players back, he expects results in performances to improve. And if that doesn't do that against Wolves,
well, the thing is,
big question marks, isn't there?
Well, it has to improve the performance. The results have to improve, and I have said so. The next 3 games, we have to win them.
Yeah,
we have. There's no ifs or buts here. We have to win them games, and I have said we could get beat in all 3 games. Okay, and if we get beat in all 3 games, right, then
the thing is, it wouldn't surprise you if United went and won them 3 games, but it won't surprise you as well if they got beat in them 3 games. And that's the problem.
And that's the problem with Manchester United. You just do not know what you're going to get. But I will stay optimistic every game and wish my team will win. Hope they will win. Sometimes my head over my heart, but hey, that's what you call being a football fan. Yeah. Mad as an hatter.
Well, after that little chat, I was going to go Wolves 1, United 1, but I'm going to go a 2-1 United win now. So you've got me back on track. But let us know your thoughts and opinions on the chat today on Marcus Rashford, that Brailsford's meeting at Carrington on Monday. Obviously the game as well. Get your starting 11 in, your score predictions as well. And I'd just like to thank every single one of you for joining in on the chat as well. Been popping off on there. If you want to carry on the chat, get it below in the chat.
I'll just remind you, you can't have it as fans both ways. You can't get rid of the toxic culture and have a team performing to the highest standard. Change has to come before on the pitch performances. That's how I see it, because it won't happen.
Okay, some wise words. Thanks again. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video, share it as well amongst your family and friends, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.